All right, whole gang's here again as we're ready for our Mystery Fifth Hour podcast. It's brought to you by our friends at McCurry Van and Car Rental. We appreciate them so much. They helped Little T and I so much during basketball season. They can help you if you need a car, a van, or a truck. You can rent from McCurry Van and Car Rentals. It's the local rental company. They're local, so first of all, that's better than national, right? Because they care about you. And they can help you find a truck, an SUV, a passenger van, in a world where it's not easy to get all these. They make it easy, they make it affordable, and they have all great locations up in Athens, Alabama, in Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, in Coleman, on 2nd Avenue Northwest, and also over in Tuscaloosa on Skyland Boulevard. It's our friends right there at McCurry Van and Car Rentals. You can check them out online at McCurryRentals.com, McCurryRentals.com. In one box at the bottom, that is Scott Forrester, back row. He's going to chime in today. Rockstar in the top box, and the three of us in main studio A is Taylor Korn, Emily Grace McWhorter. I'm Jim Dunaway. Here's the question today. We all love TV. Taylor's got more on that in a little bit later on. But we all love TV. Most of Americans do. So I want the earliest image you have of a TV show you liked, because if you have kids or little cousins or nephews or whatever, you see them occasionally, whether it's on the iPad or in the minivan or on TVs. They got shows they like early on. The one you remember liking first, the one you liked as a teenager or your early college years, and a show you like now. So those are the parameters. Okay. Let's start first with Forrester on the back row. Forrester, give me the TV show that you first remember liking.
So I can't tell you anything about a specific episode, but Knight Rider. I just remember thinking that Kit was awesome. The talking car, man.
Did it have a little red light?
Oh, yeah.
It did that? Yeah, Knight Rider.
And the Hoff.
Yeah. So then you realized that there were girls in the world. What was the next show you liked, like your teenage years?
The one I wrote down was Married with Children. I remember it being kind of maybe a little edgier, and my parents didn't love it. So
was that Christina Applegate?
Yeah, it was great until the point where Christina Applegate would walk into the house with a little skirt on, and the off-studio audience would cheer for 2 minutes before she could deliver her line. And whenever they said, like, "I kissed a girl yesterday," woo! That kind of stuff. It's just like they got to that point where it's like, oh, I'm done.
Was that the first show Fox had?
I think so.
When Fox became a network, that was their first show, I think. The first one I remember. And which one do you like now?
Well, I don't really watch much TV anymore, so the last one I remember really being hooked on, must-see TV, was Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
My favorite show of all time, Breaking Bad.
Is Breaking Bad. Did you guys ever watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah, in passing. My brothers and my dad are really into it.
Yeah, see, I tried to watch it because LT and Brownie loved it so much, and Rockstar loved it so much that I've never been able to finish it. I forget where I am, Rockstar. I've passed the bell ringing one. I've just recently passed the shoot up in Mexico.
I'm season 2 or season 3.
I think I'm in season 3 somewhere.
And it just gets better. Like if you met Hector Salamanca, the bell ringer, like that's a great. It was that Tuco's house, very tense moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you got past season one, it kind of started a little slow.
Yeah, I almost bailed because of the coughing in the first 6 episodes because he coughed so much. I was like, I can't do this.
Well, I usually side with women on shows, but I hated his wife.
Carmen, she was not. Well, they were both kind of not nice.
Yeah, I was like, I would have left that horrible place they were living, and I would have moved to the South and found another wife. Wife number 2 is what I thought about that. All right, we'll come back to you, Rockstar. Let's do somebody in here first. Let's go to Taylor. Taylor, first tell everybody how much you love TV.
I don't really watch TV besides sporting events, games. But as a child, I don't remember this a ton, but I have the memory. My memory's built through what my mom has told me. So I feel like I kind of made up this image in my head.
That happens. Sometimes you make up a memory, right?
Right. And it's because I've heard stories about it. But I would stand in front of the TV, so I'm told, and watch Dora, because my mom, it was just me at home at this point. My siblings were old enough to be in school. So it was just me and my mom at home. And she said that I would just stand in front of the TV and talk to Dora because they ask questions.
That's
you know,
right.
it's an interactive TV show. And my mom probably loved it because she was like, make her talk to someone else for 30 minutes, however long the episodes were. Dora and then Blue's Clues. Apparently, I was a big Blue's Clues fan.
Yeah, that sounds. Harper liked Blue's Clues, but she loved Dora the Explorer. And
Yeah.
it's a reboot coming. I think it's streaming somewhere, but there's a reboot of Dora the Explorer.
Really?
Yep, that is coming back right now. So for a new generation there. So then you get to be the teenager Taylor Corn, the soccer superstar, and now you said you don't watch a lot of TV or movies. What do you do?
Hang out with my roommates, talk way too much probably.
So you're very social. Like
yeah,
you're-
or I'll sleep.
yeah.
But I mean, sometimes I'll have the TV on in the background, but I also don't have a short attention span, and I'll fall asleep. If it's just me and a TV and a movie's playing for 2 hours, no way I'm making it through or paying attention to the entire time. So I just lose track of what's going on. What did I like in my teenage years? I don't know. I mean, it's a TV show. We would watch America's Got Talent.
Right.
At my parents' house when I was, I guess, a teenager. So that's one that I remember we would actually kind of keep up with. But I never really got into
watching
like a Netflix series or anything. But right now I'm on a documentary kick.
So I mean, you would have been a teenager from 2013 to whatever. Was that after the OC at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that early 2000s?
That was early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was after that.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
But I liked America's Got Talent.
Yeah, that's a good show. What about now? What do you like now?
I've watched 2 documentary series. I guess is a documentary. Can that be a series?
Yeah,
a docu-series.
Docu-series.
A docu-series. I've watched the 7M cult.
You got me to watch that
Dancing
one.
for the Devil.
Yeah.
I've watched that, and then I actually just finished one last night. It's called The Sins of Our Mother. A listener actually recommended it because I went to Twitter to find a new one after I finished the dancing cult. And I finished it last night, and that one was very dark. Very dark. It was crazy. A lot of people ended up dead, it's sad. It's a true story. But it was interesting. But they're both just 3 episodes, so they're the perfect length for me. And the episodes are under an hour. So if you have a what's it called?
Docu-series?
A docu-series recommendation, please let us know because I'm on a kick.
Yeah, and we also would love to know your first show you remember liking, loving, the one in your teenage years, and then the one that you're liking now. And we always love recommendations. You can send that to us on our social media platform at Next Round Live. Our DMs are open, so you can DM us, or you can just at us at Next Round Live and let us know. This is the Mystery Fifth Hour, brought to you by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Now let's go back behind the glass and Rockstar give us his. You got a little guy now. Does he have a show he likes?
We just got into Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, that's a sweet one.
Yeah.
We all went, oh.
Oh, bother. Paw Patrol is always number, and then Blaze and the Monster Machines, and he's all about Hot Wheels. So anything Hot Wheels on YouTube, kids racing tracks on Hot Wheels is his big thing. Mine, I got 3 for each just to let you get into my head. G.I. Joe is the first I remember, really, and I begged my parents when I was probably in 1st grade to change my name to Bazooka. They would not let me do that. Then it turned into Pee-wee's Playhouse. I was obsessed with that. And
do the impersonation for them, because I don't know if they've ever heard you do Pee-wee.
They don't know who Pee-wee is.
For
I've seen
Halloween.
it. Yeah.
Then, 2nd grade.
He's done that for years. It is so fantastic.
Roseanne. Now,
What?
Roseanne. I loved Roseanne as a kid. The first 2 seasons, and especially now with Norm Macdonald writing for it. First 2 seasons of Roseanne with Dan Connor. I remember being in 1st or 2nd grade and eating dinner, and my parents let me watch. Yes, my parents would let me watch Roseanne, and then it was like 8 o'clock. Go to bed after Roseanne. The 90s, Saved by the Bell, Seinfeld, and The State. The State was a sketch comedy show on MTV featuring like 90% of the guys that do Reno 911. Fantastic sketch show.
Forrester's nodding his head. He must like that too.
I mean, it was
The State was funny.
it was over the top, just weird. I don't know if it holds now, but those guys were fantastic back then. Then recently, of course, The Office, The Food That Built America. Love those episodes. And then I used to be obsessed. I would TiVo The Daily Show every night with Jon Stewart and watch it every single night. I mean, I would never miss with Jon Stewart an episode of The Daily Show.
Yeah, some smart shows there. So those are Rocky show. Hard act to follow. This is
Yeah,
the
I
Mystery Fifth
know.
Hour brought to you by McCurry Van and Car Rental. The first show you remember liking?
The first show, so as a little kid, like toddler age, I loved Dragon Tales on PBS
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Kids.
yeah.
Apparently, I loved Barney too. So Barney and Dragon Tales.
So Dragon Tales. There was another show on there that we would always watch that was Between the Lions.
Yes, I love Between the Lions.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then as I got older, because then there's like the Hannah Montana stage.
Oh,
I loved
forgot
Hannah
about
Montana.
that. Yeah,
And,
and Wizards of Waverly
yeah.
Place.
Sweet Lives
Oh, I
on
lo-
Sweet Lives on
Ned's
Cody.
Declassified.
I didn't watch that.
See,
one.
I still, and I think I've said this on the show before, because Harper liked at some point iCarly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought that was such a well done show before I saw the creepy documentary. But I just thought iCarly was such a well done show that, like, I will occasionally still turn that on
Oh, really?
and laugh. I even said this on the air one time, and Brown and LT and Rockstar thought I was an idiot when Harper was growing up and we were watching iCarly. I was like, that is the modern day I Love Lucy, the old Lucille Ball show. I was like, that is just comedy, good physical comedy. I just loved that show so much.
Wow.
iCarly was fantastic.
So then when I got to like high school, middle school, I feel like Gossip Girl, that was a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Gossip Girl, Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
But I remember watching Once Upon a Time with my mom. And that was like when it was on ABC, I was in middle school. And like every week we'd wait for it to come out. And that was fun times.
Would you guys have any interest at all? You two, because we're older and guys. But I was really too old to be watching it. I was post college, already working in TV. But Dawson's Creek, did you? That would have been a
before our
perfect time for your life a few years ago. Dawson Creek would have been great. I hate that y'all missed Dawson Creek.
Yeah. I
Katie
didn't-
Holmes and Vanderbeek, is that his name?
James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
John Moxon.
The guy that plays Pacey.
Joshua
right?
Jackson.
It's his birthday today.
Oh,
And I
wow.
saw it made me
Birthday.
think of Dawson's Creek. It was on the Atlantic coast, a little coastal town, a little teenage love triangle story, drama, teenage high school drama. It was really good,
Interesting.
Dawson's Creek.
I've heard of that, but I've never watched
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Had a good soundtrack, too. Always good music.
I think I saw one episode. Never got into Dawson's Creek.
Always good
Shockingly.
music. I'm going to go back and rewatch that. I bet it doesn't hold up.
Makes me
McCurry-
think of Dr. Death. What does that say about me?
Joshua
Pacey?
Jackson. Yep.
Yeah. What does that say about me?
Or Pace, Mighty Ducks too. Joshua Jackson was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Mighty Ducks.
McCurry Van and Car Rentals, Mystery Fifth Hour. I'll wrap us up here. The first TV show I remember, and again, it's going to sound so old, not the show, but the fact that I grew up in a time when we had 3 channels. That's all we could choose from. We had the ABC, NBC, and CBS. There was no Fox. There was no CW.
Yep.
There was 3 channels. And literally in my house, we did not call Saturday. We called it Cartoon Day because it was the only time in television that cartoons came on was Saturday morning. It was set aside for kids television, and it was cartoons. There was no Cartoon Network. There was nothing you could stream. You couldn't rent videos back then. Cartoons were on Saturday morning, and I was always so excited. I'd get up and get a big bowl of Captain Crunch. A big bowl of Captain Crunch, and I would sit down and turn on the cartoons. And I loved me some Scooby-Doo. I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
Scooby-Doo
Love
guy.
Scooby-Doo.
Cord's getting the Scooby-Doo too.
Scooby-Doo,
good.
where are you? And it was perfect, but I loved the Laugh Olympics. I loved the Justice League, all the cartoons, Bugs Bunny,
Super Friends, was that?
Super Friends.
Friends.
Loved it all. Cartoon Day. And, we weren't the wealthiest people in the world, but at my grandmother's house, I would get the blanket, the vent, the heat vent was in her floor for some reason. It was a floor vent. And she would turn the TV when the winter cold time, and I would put the blanket over the vent, get a pillow, my cereal, and just watch cartoons
Wait,
all
aw,
that's
morning
sweet.
long. It was the best time. My teenage years, when I realized girls were different than me, there was a show with Valerie Bertinelli on it called One Day at a Time.
Yeah.
It was the worst show ever, but I had the biggest crush on Valerie Bertinelli, who would go on and date
Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen
Had a kid.
later on. But she was like the tomboy sister on this show, a single mom living in an apartment. And I just thought she was the cutest thing. She would dribble her basketball around. And I always liked the tomboys back in the day for some reason.
Joe from Facts of Life.
Joe was my favorite from Facts of Life. Yes. I always liked the tomboys. Ended up dating athletes most of my life. But yes, female athletes. Ended up dating female athletes most of my life.
Thank you for the clarification.
And then, along the way, I loved to MASH back in the day. And then I was a big one of my favorite shows of all time is West Wing, because I'm such as you can tell by my clown-like outfit, I love America. And West Wing just was, you still had Democrats and Republicans, but there was just a lot of, let's do what's right for the country. Let's do what's right for the country. And I just loved that. And I just thought it was so well written. But the same guy that wrote West Wing, Aaron Sorkin, also wrote a short-lived show about being a sportscaster, of which I was one when this was happening, called Sports Night. And I love that show. And I think it only lasted maybe 3 years, maybe only 2. But it was based off of ESPN Sports Center. And it was just the best show.
That sounds interesting.
Very corny. It'd be like, all right, we got to do a late Sports Center, but not until after the cricket game is over. And they would be like, and they would sort of write diaries. We're hanging out at work right now, but an amazing cricket game is going on between India and England, and it was just, I just loved that show. It was so well done, and of course it had a love interest, and all that. All my stories had love interest. TV, amazing. Unless you're Taylor, you don't need it. You don't need TV. She doesn't need it. She's such a good socialite, good roommate stuff. That's our podcast today. That's the Mystery Fifth Hour. We'd love to hear how TV impacted your life. We love the fine folks at McCurry Van and Car Rental. All their great locations from Athens all the way to Tuscaloosa and everywhere in between. They'll help you with the truck rental, the car rental, the SUV rental, the van rental. We actually used the McCurry van on my golf trip. We packed in, 8 grown men.
Wow.
And 8 golf bags.
Wow.
That's
in a McCurry van, and we rolled over to Mississippi.
Studmobile.
They can do that before. That's right. That's right. 7 studs and me got out of that van. Let us know. We'll like and subscribe here on the Mystery Fifth Hour. We'll do another one coming up very soon. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for supporting everything that is Disrupt the Media.